The first step of ETL process is extraction. That is getting the data from some sources which are outside PDI to inside PDI. These data sources can be of several types such as text or a CSV file, XML, JSON files, or it could be SQL based database also. It could in fact be a big data or cloud based data storage service also. A good ETL tool such as Pentaho allows you to connect with and fetch data from as many data sources as possible. So in the next set of videos, we will be covering all the major data sources and we will get data from these data sources into PDI. All the files that will be used in the upcoming videos are part of the course resources zip file. So make sure that you download the resource file and unzip it. The dataset we are going to use consists of 3 tables. First is a sales transaction table where each transaction is recorded. Let me show you the sales transaction table in Microsoft Excel. In this table, each transaction is recorded in one row and all the different variables that are noted for each transaction are found in the columns. You can see that there is one single column for customer ID, which is representing the information that we have for that particular customer who is engaged in that transaction. And we have only one column for product ID, which can be used to identify which product was bought in that particular transaction. No other information of customer or of product is stored in the sales transaction table. Also, in this table, the first column is order line, which is unique for this particular table. Each line has a unique order line. However, if you look at the second and the third transaction, the order ID is same, which means that 2 different products were bought in one single order by a single customer. So this was a single order, but it had 2 different products, which is why there are 2 different order lines for this transaction. Other columns in this table include the order date, that is the date on which order was received, shipping date, that is the date on which the order was shipped, shipping mode, the amount of sales done in that particular transaction, quantity of products sold, discount applied, and the final profit gained from that transaction. The other 2 tables are customer table and product tables. In the customer table, corresponding to each customer ID, we have additional info of the customers such as the name of the customer, the segment and age of this particular customer, and the country, city, state, postal code, and region to which this customer belongs. So these last 5 columns are related to the address of this customer, and these 2 are the information that we have about this particular customer. Similarly, in the product table, corresponding to each product ID, we have additional product information such as the category to which this product belongs, the subcategory, and the product name. For example, this first product ID corresponds to the furniture category. Further, the subcategory is bookcases and the product name is Bush Somerset Collection Bookcase. So in the sales table, you'll only find the product ID. So if this is the product ID, then this is the product sold. So the ETL problem statement here is a fictitious one which I have created for the purpose of covering all the important steps. However, you will find that the situation discussed here is actually very close to reality, and you will be able to relate to this example with scenarios in your office or for your client. So the problem statement is this. Firstly, the customer data is maintained for different regions in different ways. So for one of the region, say for East, the data is available in a CSV format file. For West, it is available in a text file. For some region, there is an entire folder containing several CSV files which have data of different states. You may have zip files also in which data is kept. So the customer data is distributed in several types of files. We'll be importing data from all these types of files. These types of data can be called a tabular static file type of data. That is, the file does not change dynamically if it is put at a particular location. It stays like that. It's a flat file, it's a static file. Also, the data is in a tabular format. That is, just like we saw earlier, each transaction or each one instance of that particular information will be in one row, and all the columns will be containing different variable values. So this is tabular data in a flat file. The product data is distributed in XML and JSON format. These are non-tabular formats of storing data. So just to show you how we import data from non-tabular formats, the product data we will be importing from XML and JSON format. Lastly, the sales data, which is transactional data, will be imported from SQL based database and a cloud based storage such as Amazon Web Service. So for the current year, this company is storing sales data in an SQL based database, and the older transactional data has been dumped on a cloud based storage system. All these streams of data will be imported, that is extracted into PDI. Then the data will be merged into 3 different streams. One stream will be of customer data, one for product, and one for sales data. Then the data will be cleaned and validated as per the rules of each type of data. Then the data will be aggregated, transformed, and joined to bring out meaningful information from these tables. And ultimately, the final data set will be loaded to create a data mart. This data mart will be capable of giving useful business insights to the business manager. So this final data mart will be loaded in an SQL based system. Once we undergo this entire process, you will understand the process of ETL. We will then discuss some advanced functionalities of Pentaho that can really automate the data integration process. So building this entire thing in PDI is going to be our next step. I hope that you have set up PDI in your system and your Spoon graphical interface is also working. Because from now on, whatever I show you in the lecture, after going through the entire video, you have to try to implement that lesson on your own. If you get any questions or you get stuck anywhere while doing it, you can revisit the video, and if you still cannot solve it, you can describe to us your problem with screenshots in the discussion forum and we will surely help you. See you in the next lecture.